Hello, the name's Quentin. Sorry if I sound a bit rusty at casual conversation, but I haven't spoken to anyone else as of late. It's to be expected. I've lived on my own for a few years now, you see, and I've learned to get by without anyone's help. I'm quite grateful for my unyielding determination in taking life's challenges head on. I often wonder to myself why I'm paralyzed in fear at the thought of sharing my heart and home with another. Foolishness. I've survived by myself for this long, anyways. Every once in a while, I find myself lost in my own memories. Memories of the day I met Victoria. I needed her, and she needed me. We were two halves of the same whole. Mind you, this was from a few years ago. I was more sociable back then, and I had not yet learned how to fully depend on myself. That's a skill that came purely from necessity. Her eyes were full of passion and kindness. She approached me quietly. I responded in kind. It was love at first sight. Best friends, companions, soulmates. I never wanted it to end. Back then, when we encountered a problem, we would face it together. Nowadays, I face those very same problems alone. The long and short of it is that I took her for granted. I never realized just how much I needed her until it was too late. For what felt like a brief moment, life was perfect, and it was all because I had her by my side. I gave her everything, and Victoria gave me everything. Alone, we had nothing. Together, we had everything twice over. Yet, as quickly as it had begun, it had ended just as quickly. The weight of her death will forever weigh on my conscience. My whole world came crashing down. I didn't leave the house for days. Now I'm alone. It's ironic. The idea of having to learn to live on my own scared me, but now it's my only real comfort. The idea of human interaction only makes me apprehensive and irritable anymore. For years now I've been on my own, and for what years I have left, I will continue.
Hmm? Wait, where are you going? I have more stories to tell. Please don't go just yet. I didn't mean to scare you off. I know that I'm a hermit and all, but
My name is Dr. Jonathan Vanetti. I'm a relatively recent hire at the Corvus Clemens Mental Institution, and for the past few years now, I've been tasked with monitoring and providing psychoanalysis of a 33-year-old Quentin S. Marco following his mental breakdown. He recalls bits and pieces of his life accurately and vividly. What he says seem to match his records. Despite this, he cannot seem to remember my visits at all. This would not be too alarming for someone of his condition, if one omits the fact that I've paid him a visit every week for the past decade now. Every meeting he introduces himself to me as if we've never met before. He describes himself as a reclusive man, which makes sense, considering he's been kept in solitary confinement ever since he was committed. He never fails to cheerfully talk about his life, and eventually gets into the same story about how he lost a loved one, Victoria. However, after searching through social media and census and legal records, I cannot seem to find anyone matching her description, dead or alive. This leads me to conclude that she was never a real person. His family has been able to confirm this suspicion of mine. He considers her death to be the reason he cannot talk to people anymore. I suppose that, in a way, he is correct. This will be my final report on Quentin. I cannot find any reason to believe that he will ever recover from his severe state of mental illness, and he is far too dangerous to himself and others to allow his release.
The doctor has left, and now I truly am alone.